All right, Mark Ridings is with us tonight, our communications director, and he will be making monthly reports from here on out. So, Mr. Ridings, if you will kind of talk to us, we would appreciate it.
All right. Basically, for an update, I want to start out with an update. Then I want to give you a somewhat of a loose timeline. I have to solidify that once we move ahead with, once we get approval for the White Rock site, I'll be able to give a more solid timeline on this. But first, I wanted to update you on where we're at. The surveys are completed. They're finishing the report today. I should be seeing it in my inbox tomorrow. So the survey for the site up there is complete. The next thing was the environmental team had to wait for the survey to be complete so they knew where they needed to pull their samples from. So the environmental team will also get a copy of that at the same time. They're starting their work on the environmental sample for their study. Let's see. One of the great things about that, waiting for that survey, was the samples only need to be taken in areas in the bounds of the survey. So we don't have to go up there and survey like 27 acres or anything like that. All they did was actually survey basically the road area and the site it was at. And it basically took them one day, but they had a little bit of a delay to get to that because of the weather last month with all the snow and ice and everything up on top of the mountains. The Forest Service has been real helpful in helping them get that work done, communicating with them, and also they've been helping with information for the needs of the environmental study. So we don't have to oversample. We don't want to take samples every 3 feet or anything crazy. So I came up with a instruction set for them, for the environmental team to use for that, so they can get that and like this as fast as we can. I did hear about Avery County. They've completed some work that they were doing. I've mentioned before that they were doing some work on the radio system and everything. They do have a new, I understand they have a new tower site. I reached out to them today because I heard this morning when I came in. I reached out to him today and wasn't able to get a hold of him, but I'll keep trying this week, and I'll get a hold of Paul Buchanan from over there at Avery County. They're all still thumbs up on the agreement with us working over there, so that's a good thing. We just got to get that done now. It's just a matter of paperwork and some formalities with a meeting. And now for the timeline. Basically what we're looking at is the studies should be done, I'm hoping by the end of March, but with that week or two delay there, it may be into the first week or two of April when we get the studies all completed. At that point, we'll be submitting it for approval to the Forest Service. And then I'm hoping they expedite this as much as they can. We've been planting a bug in their ears over there and trying to get them to keep this thing moving. And so far, I think everybody knows it's coming. So there's been communications between here and DC, so they already know it's on the way. Pending approval, once they give us a thumbs up and we move on to White Rock, one of the things that we'll be doing is having what they call a kickoff meeting, and that will be the official start and purchase and order of equipment. That'll be the actual start of this, and we're looking at, I'm hoping April is when we do this. I'm hoping they get that turned around to us and back quickly, and then we can just kick this off and get going. We'll get all the equipment ordered, and then I have been assured that the delays that we were seeing in supply chains are not near as bad as they used to be. We were talking 18-month delay before. Now we're talking maybe 60 to 90 day delay with that. A lot of the equipment is already stateside. They already knew the system was coming, so Motorola's already looked at it. They've seen the system is there. They know they've got it. So it's sitting around in warehouses all over the United States. So that's a good thing. That should help us get this thing moving. Once we start that, there's going to be a couple of things we got to do. We got to fix the road access. Up across that, there is a interconnect road between two of the access roads up on the mountain. And it's about maybe a quarter mile in length. In the agreement that we actually had come in from Motorola, we are responsible for taking care of that site. We talked to the Forest Service. Forest Service refused to do anything with it. They said if we want access to that site, then we have to pour some rock up there so we can get at least a temporary road. We don't have to make it paved. We don't have to make it pretty. All we got to do is widen it up enough that we can get equipment up there to pour concrete and then get out. That's really what we got to do. So we don't have to do anything super heavy duty up there, I don't think. While we're starting on that road fix, all the other equipment will be in the ordering process. It'll be on its shipment. White rock installation, once they actually start on that site and start putting it in, he's assuring me that he was saying, on the phone today, he was saying 60 to 90 days, and that site will be up and operational. So he's going to move pretty quick on it. They've already got it set in place. They've already got a plan and how they're going to move it in and what they're going to do. So they're on the ball there. System testing and installations for all the other radios, the communications equipment that needs to be put out at the firehouses, and then all the trucks and all the portables and all the programming and all this that's going to be taking place will be taking place during that 60 to 90 days. So while they're building the site, we're going to be getting equipment ready to be going on live. So system testing, once they get that up and operational and we get the system running, we're going to need about 30 days to go test this thing. And I'm probably running wheels off my Tahoe, running all over the county trying to test this thing. But we'll probably give or take 30 days. And part of that's going to depend on weather, but I want to know what it's doing in all weathers anyway. So as long as I can get on the road and move, I want to do that. And once we get that system up and running, total with everything going, we're talking system sign off and completion. I don't know that we're going to make it by the end of the year, this year, but we're going to be close. We may be into the spring of next year, January, February, somewhere in there where we try to get this thing down. So we're still looking at, from this point now out, we're probably still looking at about a year to get it up and running. But it's all coming in stages and it's all coming one right after the other. So it's still moving. It's moving slow. I wish it would move faster. Unfortunately, we had the delays in hiring and the problems that they had over at the Forest Service. I'm not blaming them at all. I'm just, things fell away for us. That seems to be going well now. So. One of the things I've been trying to do is trying to assist in keeping radios and equipment running here in the county that is running. I understand that we have to have radios. They've got to be part of the communications in the county. And I've been doing what I can from my shop up there at top of Arnie Hill there, and trying to program radios and trying to service what I can. If I can't, then I have a couple of sources where I can actually send them out. And instead of having to buy a new radio for several $100s, I can probably get one fixed for maybe $175 or $200. So we can probably get some repairs going, and they're flat rate repairs on the radios. So, and they're all tested with warranty, 60-day warranty on them when they come back. So we can actually do that and keep the systems that are running until we get the new system in. So we can keep that going.
Real quick, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are we still, when you're talking about Avery County, are we still looking at Falls Creek as the potential for that repeater over there? Or are we looking at a different one now?
We're still looking at Falls Creek. Yeah. There was some rumor at one point that they were going to move it downtown into Elk Mills. And I went, no. I said, no, I can't cover our half of the county over there from Elk Mills. I have to be up on top of the mountain. So it's still Falls Creek area.
Mark, this has to deal with the equipment more than anything. We're running into problems in several of our committees concerning the amount of equipment that is going to be assigned to each department. As an example, Sheriff's Department, Rescue Squad, Road Department, school buses, Elizabeth Police Department, so forth. After going through the battle of this, when the ARP money was identified and it came on this floor, all the debates and everything that took place in it, there was a number that was established as to what department got how many pieces of equipment and what it's for. Now, we're getting grants coming into the county for, as an example, for the volunteer fire department to complete their electronic list.
Right.
Well, the list initially, which was determined by the commission and by the department heads and the service heads, was well-written, and it was numbered as to what pieces there is. Where is that list? Because see, now I attended the Fire Association's meeting and their department meetings, and so if we accept grants, we want to make sure that if it's for the fire department and we've already delegated and approved the money out of ARP, that they don't get twice the amount. Not that they couldn't use it, but fairness across the board. They all were treated alike. So many for their trucks, for their base units, for their mobile units and pagers. So we need to know what those numbers are, because they are set. That's how you came up with 4.7 million, I think, in this project.
Those numbers have been set, and the ones for the fire departments haven't changed drastically from what I was purchasing. That list, we actually had to renegotiate that list because we had a whole laundry list of items that were going into fire departments that actually were, some of them were ancillary radios that weren't a necessary need. They didn't need to be there, but they just wanted extra radios. And some of the departments were 20 extra radios per department. We've only got 18 firefighters in the department.
Yeah, that's true.
But I've got enough equipment to cover them on a fire. They wanted others, and I understand why. They want to go out and they want to be able to have those on their person because not everybody's at the firehouse. I get that. So they can be in communications back and forth. The grant was supposed to help them fill that need, is what that was for.
Yeah, but the numbers that was determined for the total amount of the $4+ million,
Right.
the numbers were greater than, like you said, the membership was. Now I'm getting a possibility of a grant to come in to even increase that. Personnel is not increasing in any of our volunteer fire departments. They're strapped.
Okay.
So that means that we may be a waste of money and it not going for a worthy cause. Because when this project started, it was for the total sheriff's department and the update Elizabeth Police Department, because these two could talk and communicate with each other. And from that point, that was at just a little bit less than $700,000. Next thing I know, now we've got rescue squad as an example. And then come the fire department, in come the road department, in come the school department. And now we're $4.5 million and we still don't know the numbers.
Okay.
Okay, so if you would supply that, we have the grant that's getting ready to come before the financial management. And those numbers are very critical as to where to help us make the decision on how to disperse the funds and where it goes.
Okay.
Can you do that?
I can do that.
Thank you very much.
I will do that.
Any other questions for him, commissioners? Mr. Ridings, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
As we go into reports, starting with the committee, Chairman Dr. Al.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you know, we didn't meet in January, so you'll find in your packet
Commissioner,
Yes,
we're
sir.
going to start with the
Yes, sir. I
January.
will start with January 2024. I'll give you a minute to pull those up, and if you have the attached documents by item, you may want to pull those out as well. If you don't, I do. So let's start with January 8th. First two items, 1 and 2, as you may recall, are the results of the county accepting on behalf of the school system an ARC grant to purchase equipment to be used by the school system in their area of workforce development. So that was for welding equipment. I think HVAC was in there, but was removed, et cetera. So we need to clean that administrative fees for the ARC grant.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that one? Let's vote, please. Julie Kimball?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir. It passed.
Thank you. Item number 2 also involves the ARC grant and grants for the county match portion of the ARC grant to come from the unassigned fund.
Let's vote. Julie Kimball?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Let's move to item number 3, which is a motion to approve items to be sold on gov deals for the Register of Deeds office. That happens to be a plot printer. A new one was purchased in its place, so Register of Deeds is offering that up for gov deals to be sold.
Motion to allow the sale made by Angie Odom, seconded by Nick Palmer. Any discussion? Please vote. Julie Kimball?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 4 was an item brought before the Budget Committee in January. We passed out of committee 7-0. Motion to declare that the outside agencies will not come from the unassigned fund balance in the 2024-2025 budget year.
So as Dr. Acuff makes the motion, we have a second from Todd Smith. Are there any questions? Please vote. Julie Kimball?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item number 5, motion to approve Budget Amendment 1017. Amendment 7, which is, you may know, the general fund. 101, the amount to appropriate funds for the health department for CryoCon interpretation services. Measure 1.
Motion seconded by Kelly Collins. Time for questions. Ready, please vote. Julie Kimball?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Number 6 is a motion to approve budget amendment 116-3, item 1, which is to reallocate funds within the current budget of Solid Waste Fund 116 to cover rental equipment to meet TDEC violations. That's in the amount of $7,910 with nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Seconded by Jason Clausen. Discussion? Voting?
Billy Campbell,
Yes.
I'll let you keep rolling just to save time.
Okay, thanks. Let's move to item number 7, which is a motion to approve budget amendment 117-2, item 1, which is the Health Department Fund in the amount of $1,500 with nothing coming from an unassigned fund balance. This is an amendment to reverse budget amendment 117, item 1, so the grant can be in the fund 101. That amount again is $1,500, nothing coming in unassigned fund balance.
You have a second from William?
Madam Chair. Item 8 is a motion to approve budget amendment 141-4, item 1, which is the general purpose school fund. It is to reverse October 2023 budget amendments for the ARC grant in the amount of $154,410 with nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Item. Vote.
Billy Campbell,
Yes.
Nine is a motion to approve budget amendments for the School Federal Projects Fund 142, items 1 and 2, which are to reallocate funds within the ESSER grant 3.0 and also part of the Title I Part A grant. I just need, the motion should contain the verbiage that we are accepting that. Since these are federal funds, we have no jurisdiction over those. That's in the amount of $50,915 with nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
Okay, second by Brown. Questions? Let's vote.
Billy Campbell,
Yes.
As we move to item number 10, I'll make the motion to approve the animal shelter monetary donations totaling $7,070.48.
Seconded by Lisa Childress. Let's vote.
Billy Campbell,
Yes.
That ends January's budget amendments and other things pertinent to January 24. So now,
Monetary donations. Last one more with monetary value.
sorry, last item is to approve the Walmart donations, which was approximately $475 to the animal shelter, non-monetary donations.
Okay, let's vote.
Billy Campbell,
Yes.
Okay. We're now finished. Thank you all for catching that last one for the January 2024 items. Let's move into February 2024 budget items. So if you want to get those before you, and the corollary sheet that declares what the amendments are, with information, please ask. First item, which I'll bring forth the motion to use the Boyd Grant Fund without any known restrictions. We have the Franklin Club Center for the dog park, option 2, if the city agrees to install the equipment. In your package, you'll find 2 options, option 1 and option 2. The Budget Committee unanimously approved option 2 because there are more pieces to the puzzle, if you will, and we get more bang for our buck. The city has agreed to do that, to work with us going forward. So before I move forward, City Manager Estes or David Danny, if y'all have any comments you want to make, you can do that.
If it's helpful, but
Well, I think you all have agreed to accept those funds and to develop that site.
yeah, if I may, just for, I don't want to belabor it. But if I could, yes, that's correct. The option 1 was lesser equipment, but included install by a contractor. So option 2 would be just to buy the equipment and staff install the equipment. So that way you get more equipment for the money. And I will bring this up, but I don't know if it's really that's where you wanted to go or not. But the question was raised at the committee meeting as to like a drinking fountain for people and for a dog. We have information on that. If you wish to hear it tonight, and if you don't, it's fine. We'll take what we've got on the floor.
Right. Well, I think that would have to come back through the Budget Committee.
Perfectly fine.
And I think we talked possible or a potential partnership.
Well, that's fine. That's true.
But that can come before budget next month or whenever. Thank you all.
Okay, so this motion to go with option 2, with the city doing the installation, has been seconded by Commissioner Deal. Does anyone else wish to speak on the matter? Okay, let's vote.
Billy Campbell,
Yes.
Unanimous. Thank you, Madam Chair. Let's move down to the second item in the February 2024. I'll make the motion to approve the purchase of the Masonic Lodge building at a cost of not to exceed $110,000 using the archive reserve funds.
Motion is seconded by Julie Gwynn. We have her-
I was talking about the possibility of the Herman Robinson facility up there. And then I was told that it was full at that meeting. And so I reached out this week to Dr. Hicks, and he said that the one building where the Kubota school is will be vacated February 25th. That building's over 11,000 square feet. The second building has a cosmetology class and a welding class, and it'll be vacated in February of 26. That's also over 11,000 square feet. And then the building that the sheriff currently has is over 5,000 square feet. So looking at that, I know it's not as good located as the lodge building, but it comes at $517 instead of $500,000. And the money set aside for the archives, I think is over $800,000. You could do a lot of nice renovations to a 11,000 square foot, or if they just needed a 5,500 square foot building, to either one. So I looked into that today because I kept thinking, I wished I had done that before the budget meeting, but I didn't. So I just wanted to lay that out there that, you know, we have buildings available. I know they're not as convenient as far as location, but there are buildings out there. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Deal.
Madam Chair, if you'll allow me, Lisa Charmaine, our county historian, who has been very diligent in moving through this to come and address the commission just a minute about the Tennessee law that actually permits us to do this. Anything else you'd like?
Okay. The Tennessee Code annotated 10-7-408 concerns the filing of fees and everything. And this was done back, I think, 7, 8 years ago. And yeah, at least. And there was a fee applied to marriage licenses and some other things. And that was a $5 fee. And that's where this $850,000 is coming from. And there's an appropriation of those fees, and they can only be used for the archive building and keeping, like we can't use these funds to purchase or renovate a building and then put something else in there. It has to be for the archives. And it says it must be designated exclusively for duplicating, storing, maintaining any records required by law to be permanently kept. And this means we can't purchase a building and then stick another entity in it. One of the things, like you said, with the Robertson building is location. It would be wonderful to have a building given to us by far, but it's not the best location. Also, we want to keep our records secure. We can't have 10 other offices or something else in there for those records. And Mr. Joe Penza, the archivist, if he already spoke, would tell you, these records have to be kept secure in a secure. There are obviously going to have to be some reductions in anywhere we go
They're caged off.
in order to have the humidity and all of that done. But as Joe already stated, windowless, there's a whole lot of pluses.
This include,
Pardon me?
judges, this include clerks, judges' offices, jail papers and all these things. Go through.
Yeah, any permanent records.
Okay, did I get her to remind me, Miss Lisa, how much money approximately comes in annually for that records fund?
That would be Carolyn could answer
Carolyn,
that
do you know?
way more better than I could.
You remember off the top of my head.
It's okay.
I mean, there's 800,000 in there and it's been accumulating over several years.
Okay, so, one more question. What have you all done as far as figuring out what it will cost if the building is purchased to get you started, to get all the equipment you need, our personnel? How much will that cost?
That we would have to do an evaluation on at this point. I couldn't tell you because of the cost of supplies and everything and what would have to be done. We need to have somebody come in there, the architects come in and say, okay, this is what we need to do to, secure that. There are areas in there that are secure, as the mayor mentioned, the basement. And it is, there's 8,000 plus square feet on the first floor, and the basement has a couple square feet. So it's a total of over 11,000 square feet.
Okay. We have a request to speak from Angie Odom.
Just remind us, I know there was a date because of where things are stored now and when you have to move them, and then I wanted to hear your date. I was trying to cross dates. Where are the items now, and was there a timeline because of the state buying the building that they have to be moved? What is the deadline of when we have to have that out? Do we know?
Yesterday. No, I know that they have to be out by a certain time. The mayor could answer that better than me. But they are going to, if we do purchase this building, they will move those records to the basement.
I mean, are they working on the building now to where we need them out? I guess that's what I was asking, and what was the date? You're right, I know, but I'm just saying, you know, when are you needing them for sure move? Like, what, is there a date that we're pushing them out? That, I'm just saying, an urgent decision's, you know, needed, and then what was the date?
I do know that they gave us like a 6-month extension on it, and it's been an agreement between TCAT and, you know,
And
the
then
mayor's office.
my question was, what, will you repeat the date, Commissioner Dill, of when
The school be
the
vacated.
school would be vacated first?
February of 25, the first building will be, that's the plan from,
A
he
year
said,
from now.
February of 25, one of the 11,000 plus square foot buildings will be vacated. The second will be vacated in March of 26. And the sheriff's department, there's 3 buildings up there. And the sheriff's department is currently in the third building, which is 5,000 plus square feet.
I think they're going to begin working on, I call it the Great Lakes Building, sorry, this summer. And they're gonna start work there.
The Kubota, the first building, it will be moved to gray. That won't even, it will be going to gray.
Just for the commission's information, that this did pass out of Building and Grounds unanimously as well. Commissioner Holder, who is the interim chair for Building and Grounds, also provided the budget committee members with the poverty evaluation that was done. That should be in your packet as well.
You're recognized.
Has anybody talked to the Masonic Hall about when they will be able to vacate the property? I mean, do they have anyone to go? Is this a 30 days after the purchase is out, or, I mean, do we have anything with that? And do we have any deeds researched for title issues or anything like that done?
County Attorney.
No, I've not been asked to look at it at all. I have no idea. The only thing I know is the price negotiation took place, I think, between the mayor's office and the Masonic Lodge folks, and they haven't formally accepted. I mean, this more or less would be considered the formal offer, if you all approve it, and their membership still has to actually accept the offer to sell, although they've been given assurances that that's going to be done from what I've heard. But no, as far as searching anything, I've seen the appraisal. That's all I've been asked to do. Anything else?
Do we plan to do a title search or anything?
I certainly can and will if you all.
I've been made aware there's some alleyways and things that need to be looked at.
We do have a representative from the lodge, so I'll ask him to address you and maybe answer questions.
My name's Larry Moreland. I'm the current headmaster of the lodge, I guess you'd call me. So I'm the one that has your seat in the lodge. We've had the land surveyed. Currently, we have the deeds at my office of Norris. Just making sure all the deed paperwork is correct. There's no hiccups there. As far as tonight goes, if it passed tonight, I have to notify my members and have a vote within 30 days of when I send out a letter. And then we vote, and then it's just a matter of how long does it take me to get it. Because I've been actively trying to find something for us to get.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chairman, my name is Gerald Ward, and I also belong to Dashiell Lodge. And this is the thing, and I'm speaking on behalf of and I should have made this during the public comment, and I apologize. That people don't understand what Freemasonry is. Freemasonry is to make the good man better. And even though we may oppose each other, we still love each other. And I'm speaking on behalf of all the ones that had blood and sweat and tears in building that building some 60 years ago. And you talk about archives, we have archives too. Those are, anybody is welcome to go in that building when it's not in use. You see the pictures of the past masters. You see the pictures of the past grandmasters, even the one who, John S. Dashiell, who was past grandmaster, Grand Lodge State, Tennessee. And the reason, like I said, you do what you want to do. But that lodge has been there ever since I was born. We also have appendant bodies that meet there. We have our York Rite Association meets there. We have the Shrine Club meets there. And the Eastern Star meets there, which I'm also a member of that. Scottish Rite had met there before. I mean, it's not just like one lodge that in Broadway, and they have to have an approval of it too. I mean, that we have a code of conduct, and we have to live by that code of conduct, and we have to live by what our Grandmaster says and so forth. I don't know if I fully agree with the sale. It will be, but I believe in majority rule. And whatever the majority rule says, whenever we do decide to vote, you know. But the lodge has a lot of problems, the building does. Now, one thing too, I will say, we are good friends with the election commission that is right next to us. And if anybody wants to park in the parking lot, they can. If you have the Covered Bridge Days, they park in the parking lot. If you have the parade, they park in the parking lot. You don't charge a thing. Like I said, we're here. We're here to be of help and all. But again, I'm kind of reserved in that. But that is left up to the budget committee and the commission. A lot of our members were not informed. The Johnson City Press and the Elizabeth Star. We was not informed. And like I said, that would be left up to you all. You know, it'll cost money to renovate that building.
With all due respect, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, we are not even halfway through our agenda right now, so, and we've got two other requests to speak. Danny Deal, you may have the floor.
I just wanted to clarify my previous comment. I wasn't talking about the building being shared with any other thing. I was talking about one of the buildings being for the archives by itself. That's why I said one's over 5,000 square feet, the other one's over 11,000. But I didn't mean for the archives to be shared with any other department.
Okay, Avery Wynn.
I'm part of the committee that passed that through unanimously. At the time it was voted on, I was unaware of the possibility of one building of 11,000 square feet. And that's the reason that I voted the way I did, because I was under the impression there was no other possible building available. My impression of this Herman Robinson campus we're talking about, those buildings,
That's what Mr. Deal is referring to, yes.
I was under the understanding they were all either gonna be torn down or used for some other purpose.
Does anybody else wish to speak? The motion and second that we had previously stand. So if there's no other comments or questions, let's vote. Billy Campbell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We'll move to item number 3, the February 2024 budget. I'll bring forward the motion to approve the sale of an excavator of track hoe by the Highway Department to a landfill using funds from the landfill's unassigned fund balance at a cost not to exceed $60,000.
Motion is seconded by Steve Burrow. Other questions or comments? Let's vote. Billy Campbell?
Yes.
Motion passes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Move to item 4, which also concerns archives. This will be a motion to set up a preservation of record budget and extend a line item for the Records Committee to frame historical photographs at a cost not to exceed $337. County Mayor will submit purchase orders on behalf of the Records Committee with approval of the Financial Management Committee.
Motion is seconded by Danny Deal. Other questions? Let's vote, please. Billy Campbell?
Yes.
Thank you. You can catch up with us there. Item number 5 is a motion to approve Budget Amendment 101-8, items 1 through 7, which is the general fund budget in the amount of $19,695.10, with $4,500 coming from reserve accounts and nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance. So,
Seconded by Frazier. Discussion? So voting. Billy Campbell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, item number 6, make the motion to approve Budget Amendment 116-3, item 1, which is the solid waste fund, in the amount of $7,815.87, with nothing coming from an unassigned fund balance. And this is to reallocate funds within the landfill's budget to cover drainage issues.
Motion is already seconded by Frazier. Are there any questions? Voting. Billy Campbell?
Yes.
Number 7, sir, when you're ready.
Okay, next item is a motion to approve Budget Amendment 122-1, item 1, in the amount of $1,500 with nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance. This is for drug fund number 122.
Seconded by Thomas Profit. Any questions? Let's vote. Billy Campbell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 8 is a motion to approve Budget Amendment 131-3, items 1 and 2, in the amount of $52,000 with nothing coming from unassigned fund balance. This is to reallocate funds in the Highway Public Works Fund to the current budget for overtime. And also to cover additional needs.
Okay, we have a second by Danny Deal. Is there any questions? All right, let's vote. Willie Campbell,
Yes.
pass it.
Chair. Item number 9 is a motion to approve budget amendment 141-5, items 1 through 7, which is the general purpose school fund, in the amount of $286,223.27, with nothing coming from the unassigned fund.
Second from Aaron Frazier. Let's vote. Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Item number 10 is a motion to approve budget amendments 142-5, which are the school projects, Fund 142, to increase travel in the amount of $30,000 with nothing coming from the unassigned fund balance.
second by Frazier. Anyone have a question? I'm gonna vote. Willie Campbell,
Yes.
The next motion concerns the Head Start Fund number 145. It's a motion to approve budget amendments 145-3, items 1 through 6, in the amount of $9,000, with nothing coming from unassigned fund balance.
second by Angie Odom. Vote. Willie Campbell,
Yes.
I think we're to animal shelter, am I correct? Motion is to approve the animal shelter monetary donations totaling $1,973.00.
okay, so on our screens, it's showing up motion by Jerry Prophet, second by Robert Acap. We'll go with that. Is there any question? Voting. Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Item number 13 also involves the animal shelter monetary donation. It's to approve an unrestricted animal shelter account totaling $10,535. So that will be a reserve account.
motion is seconded by Julie Gwynn. Let's vote. Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Our last item also concerns the animal shelter. And the motion is to approve the animal shelter non-monetary donations primarily from Walmart totaling $425.
motion is seconded by Frazier. Let's vote to approve. Willie Campbell,
Yes.
passes. Thank you, Dr. Acap.
Ma'am, thank you all for your patience.
We have an action item coming from Building and Grounds Committee. Chair Nick Holder.
I'd like to make a motion on behalf of Building Grounds to name the Carter County Election Commission building in honor of Junior Stanley.
And seconded by Danny Deal. Mr. Wynn, you have the floor.
I ain't a real deal.
It being a county building that belongs to the entire county, I have a thing about naming a building in the county that belongs to 57,000 people, being named after an individual. I can think of other ways to honor the individual, such as a bench outside in his honor, or like on the wall. But if we name this building after an individual, who's to say the next commission that comes along doesn't rename the building? And that will cost probably several $1,000s to do. Benches and plaques will cost more than benches will. The bench would probably less than $1,000. You can put as many benches outside a building as you want to honor these people that have done this job or are doing the job. Or the first person to go to the county, the likes of that. This building belongs to 57,000 Crawford County residents.
Anyone else wish to speak? All right, let's vote on the naming of the Crawford County Election Commission building. Campbell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Nick. Financial Management Committee Chair Brad Johnson.
Madam Chair, if I may stay in place.
Yes, sir.
Approval item. I place in the motion for approval of the resolution to authorize the county mayor to make and to sign an application for the 2024 home grant funds on behalf of Carter County. But, you know, this is an annual application we make that we have been a recipient of the price. It is for the purpose of, that they can apply, disabled people, low-income people, elderly people for improvements of their living inhabitants or the buildings.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please vote. Willie Campbell. Highway Committee, Vice Chair, Steve Burrow.
I'll stay here if I may.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve resolution honoring the life of Nathaniel Tom McLeod, designating the bridge between Stony Creek located on Dana Road, Stony Creek Community of Carter County. I think fruitcake man for most people, it's right here.
Yes, we have the county attorney read it into the record. I would like to have that done because it honors the individual more so than just passing. Thank you.
Okay. This is a resolution honoring the life of Nathaniel Tom McLeod and designating the bridge spanning Stony Creek located on Dana Road near Holston View Drive in the Stony Creek community of Carter County as the Nathaniel Tom McLeod Memorial Bridge. Whereas Nathaniel Tom McLeod was born on May 23, 1932 to Walter P. and Olivine McQueen McLeod. Whereas Mr. McLeod served his country in the United States Army, having enlisted at the age of 17, proudly served in the Korean conflict, during which he was held as a prisoner of war for approximately 33 months. Whereas when he returned home and recovered, he and his wife, Billie Jean Shankles McLeod, began making fruitcakes for the family and friends for Christmas. Later, they began selling the fruitcakes as a fundraiser for the building fund of United Baptist Church, where they were devoted members. Mr. McLeod served as a deacon. Whereas Mr. McLeod was known to make over 4,000 fruitcakes each Christmas season, thus earning the title Fruitcake Man. He sold his fruitcakes throughout East Tennessee, the Carolinas, Virginia, West Virginia, Georgia, Florida, New York, and even as far as Canada. Mr. McLeod said baking fruitcakes was a labor of love, which he carried on for over 60 years. Whereas Mr. McLeod died on December 27, 2020, having lived a selfless life of service to for his country, community, and his church. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Carter County would like to formally recognize and honor the life of Nathaniel Tom McLeod by adopting this resolution in his honor, officially designating the aforementioned bridge located near his former home in the Stony Creek community of Carter County as the Nathaniel Tom McLeod Memorial Bridge. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Carter County, Tennessee, meeting in regular session on this 20th day of February 2024, with the lawful quorum of said board being present and with majority voting in the affirmative, that the board hereby adopts this resolution honoring the life of Nathaniel Tom McLeod and officially designates the bridge spanning Stony Creek located on Dana Road near Holston View Drive in the Stony Creek community of Carter County as the Nathaniel Tom McLeod Memorial Bridge. Directs that this bridge shall always bear the name of Mr. McLeod regardless of the future necessity for replacement of the bridge. Be it further resolved, this resolution shall take effect from and after the date of approval of its approval, the welfare of the county dominion.
Thank you, sir. Angie Odom, you have the floor.
I wanted to add, he also made over 60,000 cookies for our kids in our community. He made them every summer and gave them to our summer food program. And my girls even went and made cookies with it, but he did. He started making them and would freeze them and work all winter long just on cookies for the kids of our community.
Anyone else like to speak? Let's vote. Will Campbell?
Yes.
All right, at this time, I'm not sure who to call on. Is it you again, Mr. Brown? You, Mr. Schindler?
Shoot.
We are to the resolution amending the Carter County stormwater.
Yes, Madam Chair, and have to open up the public hearing.
Okay. So the full Board of County Commissioners is recessed for a public hearing on this resolution from the planning department.
To give you a little insight on this, we have 3 different resolutions that cover basically everything that's in this, that the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation wants us to adopt for this Tennessee Permanent Stormwater Management and Design Guidance Manual. But it just makes it, I assume, easier for non-funded mandate from the state of Tennessee for us to adopt this. This isn't the only manual we've had to adopt from the state of Tennessee. It just came up in the last year that we needed. This manual started in 2014. So it's just dealing with the inspectors and regulators through the state of Tennessee, trying to work with them and be diligent. Basically has everything covered already in our ordinances and in our resolutions, which accept into the stormwater management.
Anyone wish to speak from the public on this matter?
Madam Chair, if only to give Mr. Schuler a hard time. If I could do that, that's all I'd speak to.
We'll talk later.
If you needed a motion.
Okay, then we will close the public hearing and go back into the full commission meeting. It's called back to order.
I don't know if anybody pulled this off the internet or anything. It's over 400 pages. You can go through it if you want to, but it's just one of those situations we have to do.
Okay, we can take any questions for Mr. Schuler, or we can take a motion and move forward with voting on this resolution. We do have a motion by Kelly Collins, Vice Chair, and a second by Avery Wynn. Anyone have a question now? Okay, let's vote.
Madam Chair?
I'm sorry, I didn't leave my screen there. You have the floor, sir.
Yes, sir.
What restrictions does it place on county residents and water on their property?
Okay, this deals with development properties such as subdivisions, things of that nature, new industrial parks, things like that. As far as existing situations, it does not deal with anything on that, sir.
All I need to know.
Sir.
Okay, I believe we can vote now.
Willie Campbell?
Yes.
Motion passes, sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Attorney report.
Okay, as always, I submit a written report that'll be part of the minutes. But specifically this month, as far as litigation goes, this month and last month, there's still Carter County litter regulation cases moving through Chancery Court. There's 5 total court hearings in the past 2 months since we were here last. 2 cases were completely resolved by agreement, and those are dismissed. There was 1 new case or amended case filed just this past month. The other item of litigation is what's referenced on there, the delinquent tax sale. I came up earlier a little bit, but every year we're mandated to move forward with the sale of properties that have delinquent taxes, property taxes for the Carter County, as fast as the law will let you. Is about 3 years behind. So we're selling the 2021 parcels who have unpaid 2021 taxes in subsequent years from 2021 are being sold on March 8th. This year, as has been the case in the past, I think 3 years, maybe 4, that is an online sale. That's pursuant to the order of the court. This is done in Chancery Court. Sales actually conducted by the clerk master. So that's every year since I've been here, 10 years, we've done it this way. And in the past, I think 6 or 7 years, every single parcel has sold. So the reason I bring this up to you all specifically, I've given you a list. There's approximately 80. A few of those paid out today. I mean, they pay out every day during business hours, and that number is a constant moving target. But whatever parcels remain as of March 7th that close of business will be sold the morning of March 8th. The county commission can specifically vote not to bid on any parcels if there are concerns about environmental issues or some marketability issue of the property that you wouldn't want to, because the default rule is the clerk master bids in for the county the minimum bid if no other bids are made. As I said, I think it's been the past 6 or 7 years. There's been no bids made on behalf of the county. Every parcel sells. I don't anticipate that to be any different this year. I've searched these properties and I don't have any concerns to relate to you to tell you to vote not to bid on one. But it's up to you all. If any of you all have done so or looked at the bids and have a specific question, I'll try to answer it. But like I said, most of the properties sell for way over what the minimum bid is, and the county wouldn't have an opportunity to bid on any of them anyway. So with that being said, unless there's an issue somebody wants to discuss, my report will be in the minutes.
The floor is open for a motion and second on approval of this 2021 delinquent tax sale.
No, I mean, the motion and vote would be if there was a specific property that you all didn't want to bid on in the sale. So as I said, if there was something like that I was aware of, I would certainly bring it to your attention. There's just nothing. So unless you all independently have some knowledge, there's no vote needed. The sale is going to happen either way. This is just whether or not the county would bid to own the property if it didn't sell. And like I said, it's a rare occurrence. So there's no vote needed unless there's something you all are concerned about.
Okay, seeing no request to speak, we will move on. As we go into commissioner comments, if you all would permit me, I usually don't go first, but I'd like to say a few words tonight. And this is to everyone countywide that we all work with, officials and department heads and so on. Working well with others is a qualification of a caring, successful public servant. We have to listen to our citizens, as they are the needle of our country. Plans for the county should be discussed as teammates, not with individual goals in mind. All topics, including grants and credits, to be introduced in appropriate committees in a timely manner, not at the end. The organizing, planning, and funding of projects is best performed with several minds. Be in your committee or boards that you serve on. Ask all of the questions you can think of. Talk to many citizens. If they're not calling you, call them. That's what I do before any votes that I feel like are going to be controversial. Research the facts. Respectfully debate with one another. Nothing should reach this full board unless it has been thoroughly vetted in a committee, or possibly in 2 or 3 committees. Sometimes they have to move through. Even if you don't know of anything on your agenda for the month, may I suggest that you meet anyway? Leave your new business and old business blank, but go ahead and meet. Because it could be that a commissioner on that committee has something they would bring up if given the opportunity, but if there's no meeting, they can't. So that's just a suggestion. Pause to think if there's something that that committee could and should be doing. There is a lot of work to be done. It takes all of us. It takes commissioners, officials, and department heads cooperating to achieve progress. Team. No matter who is liked or disliked, popular, unpopular, work together to achieve success. And success to me means meeting the needs of our people. Watching out for their tax dollars and just everything that we do is so important. We've always got to keep them at the forefront of our minds. So with that being said, the floor is open for any of you all that want to say anything tonight and put their comments. And let's be kind, not rude. No motions to adjourn until everyone who wants to speak has spoken. Angie Odom, you have the floor.
They're like, here she goes again. Join the commission, not to, because it took me 24 years of 3 minutes. And I finally said, do this so you can get your point across. Rolling of the eyes, I see. But I want you to know really what happened as a TLC, not just as a commissioner. In 24 years, we've had tornadoes when they ripped through with high winds. Mountain City got hit, driving an RV, doing laundry, from power being out with snows that we had to house people in our center. Worked with EMA many times, all over these years. That's what a community center does. That's my heart. I'm not in here for any agenda. I hear rumors I'm running for mayor. I hear rumors I'm doing this. I'm here because I'm a child of God, and that's what God wants me to do. Amen. So let me clear the air. Amen. I know there's a lot of backbiting, and I see it. I didn't join the commission to be in the good old boy circle. I wanted to work together as people because we all stood out there and said, handed out our cards and said, elect me, and I'm here for you. But then I get calls from other districts because some other commissioners won't answer their phones. Or my own district says, sorry, you're on Rocky Road. You're not my road. Call another. Call Angie Odom. That's her road. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I am very transparent. And if you don't want me to be transparent, then I'm sorry. Our citizens deserve transparency. So what I am here to say is, over that week, I didn't expect you all as commissioners to come up to the TLC because I was doing that, not as Angie Odom commissioner, but what I've done for 24 years at the TLC, giving out water. I was blessed on that Sunday when I looked at the Facebook and it said, we've been out of water for 3 to 5 days. It's for 5. And I'm like, what in the world? That's when I sent out an email to everybody. I didn't hide it. I said, I'm going to call Billy Harrell. I called Billy Harrell. I said, hey, we already work with other ministries who have pallets of water and already have 2. Let's just start helping. If you got it at your house or in your garage, just start helping people. That's all. I'm in the Stony Creek area and I happen to be right where the water changes off to where we went and drained those towers that was already empty. But to make sure that it wasn't hearsay, I called Deborah Lefford and I said, is it true what I'm reading? Are all these people out? And she said, yes, we have 1,000 people. Remember how the number is of how you do with residents without water, and 384 breaks. And she said they've been out for a while. I'm thinking of all my clients that have babies that need formula, their formula mixed and all of these things that they need in order for their families. And then I didn't even think about CPAP machines until we got going and people's like, we hadn't had water, for our CPAPs and all this other stuff. So immediately after the email went out, I called like I always done in the past 24 years. I called Billy Harrell or whomever's with EMA and I said, hey, I've got some water. Want to let you know, do you have anything going on? For what? He said, I don't even know we had a water outage. He did not know about it until the email went out. That's why Stony Creek people are upset. They heard that the mayor appoints the water commissioners. So then everybody's like, well, the water commissioners didn't tell us we needed help. That's why they're upset though, is they're like, where did the water, where's EMA? Why didn't anybody come to the rescue? Why when our water department first district, when she's working overtime and people's begging and cussing her out and going on because she came to us and her bawling her eyes out from everybody cussing her out. Why are you turning our water off? Because you got a water break. Our towers have drained. We can't turn your water on because if I do, what little collects is going to come back out. So the only thing as a sinner I knew to do, let's try to get water and get them showers. Billy said, no problem, I'll call. He called it Homeland Security. I was corrected one time, and it is part of Homeland. When he said, I'll get it up there, and I said, there's pallets of water as much as we want, we can get from Rogersville. I'll take my Tahoe, we'll get it. No problem. I'm like, how are we gonna get this in? It's just me and a couple of ladies that was helping us that day. Then there was some help that started coming in that we had to unload pallets of water by hand. So when they're saying, help, it's very heavy. Water is one of the heaviest things to do. So anyway, as God supplied these things, we were able to get some inmates that helped us unload. And the work crews come before, and we're so blessed with that. But then, when Billy finally arrived, something was different with Billy. And I'm being transparent because I don't want anybody ever, whether it's you and you hate my guts, I don't care. There's not a one of you here that if I knew you needed help, I wouldn't try to help you. None of you. Even everybody thinks I have this thing with our mayor. I do not have a thing against our mayor. We don't see eye to eye on ballot. But we are supposed to not always see eye to eye, but still work together is what I thought for the good of the people. So when Billy, I was like, something's going on, he stayed on the phone. And then I learned that Billy was called in to the mayor's office for over an hour and a half. And his job was threatened because he was told he was not supposed to be at a nonprofit helping. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong. There's a warming station at churches. They've been there. Our mayor and EMA has helped because I've loaded up and took things. Billy was doing exactly what EMA is supposed to do. We have an emergency. I didn't even say who I was because I knew it just trickles back that Angie's causing issues. I called Nashville to ask what EMA is supposed to do. Churches, nonprofits, businesses, anybody that is a point of help during emergency is where EMA is supposed to be. That's why they're there. If 1,000 people without water in an emergency right now, what is? I get an alert when there's a freeze alert on my phone if you're on that setup. They needed water. And that's all I cared about. Luckily school was out. Some of them went back to school. When the county went back to school with still no water in their homes. They needed a shower. I had mamas coming in with sippy cups that were nasty and clotted all with milk and bringing their things to wash them and bringing laundry. So Billy had the trailer delivered thanks to the Unicoi department. They brought the trailer. People were so ecstatic, like this lady here. Did I ask you to come here tonight? Did I call and ask you? I did not ask anyone here before that rumor gets going. I did not. This is just a few, because you know what? There was a lot of people really mad because they felt like, I'll be honest, they said if we wore a different color shirt and was in a different part of town, our lives would have mattered. Because we're on the creek, we got the creek. That's what people said. And you got to look at how it felt for them. So then people were showering, but we had one shower. Guys, do you know what the liability of having people undress and shower in a locked, in a parking lot, in a shower trailer? That I was on our center a lot because I deal with women and children. So I called my other friend with God's Warehouse, who supplied our water, with the Tennessee Baptist Disaster Relief. They said, we'll bring you, I got a brand new big trailer. I said, does it have a washer? No. Which one you got? My oldest one. So we'll bring it anyway. As long as it has a washing machine, I don't care what it looks like, and we got showers. Because they can dry them at home. They brought us another trailer. So I could allow women and children to shower in one and men in the other, because that is a huge safety concern. I don't know these people coming in. I'm not checking driver's license and seeing their backgrounds. They needed water and they needed a shower. So I had people that helped me during the day. On that Tuesday, that went on from Monday to Tuesday. On Tuesday, we were going to get in. We were going through water like you wouldn't believe. And because it was for whole families. And the first trailer that was delivered, I wasn't allowed to move it. We weren't going to touch it. It was right in front of our door. Every case of water had to be hand unloaded. We went through 8 pallets of water that had to be 98 clients that don't even speak English and 175 non-English speaking kids weekly on top of our regular clients that I have. All of this was going on at one time, and I love doing it. The fact is, Thursday rolls around. Well, Wednesday evening, Billy comes by and says, I think I need to take that trailer back. I said, well, you can't take that trailer back. We're still using it. I think the sewage has a problem. I think the drain has a problem. And I could tell Billy wasn't acting like Billy. I'm like, what's going on with this trailer? So then on Thursday rolled around, in the middle of Mommy Mart and everything unannounced, without a phone call or anything, Billy and Shannon showed up and they said, we're here to take the trailer, your trailer, not the Tennessee Baptist one. By the way, in the midst of those 2 days, volunteers remodeled the Tennessee Baptist one. And Big John's donated what we needed, and they got it back in great condition, and that made it even better operational for those that were there. But then when he took the trailer, he said they needed to take it. I said, why? I mean, we're using it. I just had a person get out of it. And he kept going around, and I finally just walked out there, and I said, I'm going to call Dustin Leopard. He is with the department that has the trailer. I'm going to put him on speakerphone, and we're going to figure this out. So you put it on speakerphone. You heard the entire step away from the trailer anytime you just requested it. Our chief knows about it. You can leave it here. The TLC can use it because it's where it is benefiting the people. Is that what was said? What you said? Then it came out. Billy said, you don't understand. If I even have to move it across the street, that's Armory, county property with no sewage hookup. If I even have to move it across the street, I have to move it, or the mayor said, I'll lose my job. Is that what he said? Now you tell me. She's not here to defend or to witness that, sir. And he said, I will call you back. He called me back and he said, me and my chief decided we will not be a part of any political circle. This was to help someone. He said, I will take it from here. In an hour or tonight or tomorrow, if you need it, I will bring it back. Now, I'm here to tell you, not as a commissioner right now. I'm a nonprofit trying to help people. And if our politics are going to get in the way of serving our people, then shame on all of us.
Amen.
Nick, I'm willing to work with you. Acuff, I'm willing to work with you. Whoever else might be mad at me for speaking out, I'm willing to work with you. Guys, all I want is our people to get help. Our little kids, when they don't have water, you see it in the school every day, but they were going back to school without even water on the creek. And she made the trailer leave. So I'm down to one, so then I have to post somebody out there to make sure when the women go in there and then a child goes in there, that a man ain't walking in there because I can't lock it, because then if someone falls or has an issue, I can't get in to help. So then it created more of an issue. I cannot tell you how disappointed I am. There are no words to tell you.
Amen.
And you know what? I don't care if it's on the front page or not. I never once called the news to be there, or that I never do. John, did I call you to be there to cover the story? But what good is to have a place for people to shower if they don't know where to go to shower? They came on their own. I put on Facebook, come get water. So I just want to clear it up. So anytime that I will, from now on, this is my word. If I hear gossip, if I hear what's going on behind, call me the whistleblower or whatever you want. But I am done, guys. We are here for county business. This ain't a little circle to come in and meet at. But if I feel this way with a nonprofit, and that happened to me, I might not happen to another nonprofit, because it's okay to help certain ones, just not certain people that run it. I had gobs of people off the creek coming out. In fact, I had so many cooking and stuff, I'd say I'm good. One of the people that didn't want to help. But when I have somebody come in and drag a trailer off, well, I've got other people waiting in line to shower, I do have a problem with it. I was so angry that I just cried. When I get mad enough to cry, that's when you know I'm mad. And I was just beside myself. And I had my own personal things going on. I just found out my husband was having a heart cath, and I had children. I just got custody of my niece. I have a life too outside of commission and my center. But you know what? We all do. You do, all of us do. But that's why we don't need to be that way to each other. We need to help one another. And so shame on you if you've been talking behind, and shame on me if I do. But you know what? At this point, all I feel like is every time that I bring up major issues, yeah, I went to Nashville, did different things. Shame, oh, Angie's a terrible person because she's bringing it up. Well, you know what? I will be that terrible person because I know that that's what God wants me to do. It's an issue. But if I do ever hurt your feelings, or if I've said something to offend you, then come tell me, because that's what the Bible says to do. You go to the person, you ask forgiveness. If we can't figure it out, we'll work it out together. But we sure don't plot against each other. But that is the truth with all the gossip that I've heard went on that happened the week of the event. So why the people of the creek is mad is a bunch of them was at that center shopping. And they heard and seen the big explosion and the trailer takeaway. We didn't know about it. We've got to fix the communication issue of the water commission. Are they to tell the mayor? If the mayor, did the mayor know about it? If she did, should she have told it in EMA? Then what should EMA done? Get them water. The EMA said they had not heard anything about it. So in the future, if we have an issue, we need to know how to address it for our citizens.
Amen.
Yes, Lisa.
I won't take up a lot of time because I know a lot of people have schedules they want to get home. Some people may not have had supper like myself. But I do want to say something, and I listened to the words, and I'm a very observant person. And sometimes when you be still and you watch people's body language, and I'm talking about some commissioners in here, it's all over your face. It's all over your face. That when a certain commissioner speaks, it's very unprofessional. I've seen eye rolling. I'm not here to point fingers. We are not kindergartners. We're adults here. We are elected officials. I go to committee meetings and am there and look at people and speak to people, but I'm not an important pawn on the chessboard right now, which I don't want to be because I stand alone sometimes, but I want to be part of this team. But I do feel like some people in here do have hidden agendas. And I feel sorry for you because I have a saying, don't step on the bodies on the way up because you have to come back down sometimes.
Amen.
And I do see eye rolling in here. I see eye rolling when I speak. And I hope that I haven't offended anyone. I want to be very professional. I want to be adult-like. And I want to remember that I'm voted in by the citizens of Carter County, people in my district. And I want to have their best interest at heart. And I want to be 100% transparent. I am not here for a hidden agenda. I'm not. And I think the majority of you all are not here either. I'm hoping that all 24 of you are not here. And again, I'm not here to finger point, but I want you to take a few minutes, maybe not tonight, but maybe reflect. And if you have an issue with someone, be an adult enough and say, hey, can we discuss something? I have an issue. Don't let it show on your face, because it does come out, because you try to hide your body language, but it still comes out. And there are people like me that are watching that are very turned off. And I want us to go down in history as one of the best commissions, best 4-year terms in Carter County, and everyone in this room is a team member. And everyone here, I feel, wants to be a team member. So again, don't think that I'm pointing fingers, but I want you to know that I have observed some behavior, and I've almost called a couple people out. But I stepped back and I said, that's not my place. But if I see it in the future, I will ask you to step aside and say, hey, I don't know if you have an issue with me or if you have an issue with another commissioner, but maybe you need to check your body language because the public's watching also. Thank you.
We do have another request to speak, but I just want to say to the public, we do appreciate you being here tonight. But will you all please not speak, clap, yell, etc. when things are said? We just want to hold this to commissioner comments.
We'll have the health and welfare, building grounds, law enforcement, building bylaws meetings. Will the courthouse continue to be open, or do we need to reschedule that?
Election have to be rescheduled.
County holidays. Other than voting, I think it'll be open. I don't know how late that goes. I guess the polls are open.
Yeah, the polls are open until 8.
So Nick, you're acting chair on 2 of those committees. So if you, Lisa, and Avery can come together, we can give everybody a different date and time right now.
I'm flexible on any day, whatever works best for you.
People who are on those 4 committees, do you have a suggestion?
6th, maybe?
The
6th.
And we can do the next day if
It's
that's a Wednesday. Okay.
March is, the 6th is.
Yeah, March is scheduled. So we can't do the 7th, that's the finance management. Mayor's conference room, I guess we can have it.
Well, I mean,
They need to see it.
you can have it in here. You can have it here, Nick. You can have it at nighttime, don't you?
Yeah, we have it at 6.
No, it's not on his. Well, shut up. If you can, I can.
Do you have anything on this?
They're in the mayor's conference room, so we can be in here.
You want to give me a date, it's fine.
You kill me. That's what I'm saying.
We'll go with March the 7th,
Yeah.
6. In here.
Everybody please update that schedule. 6th at 6.
7th at 6.
7th at 6. Okay. So nobody on FMC is on any of the committees, is that right? These are very special circumstances to have 2 holidays in January, February, and now an election in March. Nancy Brown, you have the floor.
I'll just
just like to thank the highway department for all the long hours they put in this past month. I mean, they really kept our roads clean, and I really appreciate each and every one of them. They went above and beyond. Thank yous for all the hard work.
All right. I just feel the need to say that the words I wrote did not come from any certain event or any person. It's a combination of about, I'd say at least half of you that I've talked to over the past 2 weeks. You know, some of the comments I made come from people who say our committees could be working a little harder. They come from my own personal frustration with what happened months ago concerning the Tweetsie Trail. I feel like the commission came in on the tail end of that instead of the front end of that. So I want you all to know that all the words I said are just looking at a big picture of several different things. I hope you all will take them in the spirit in which I intended. Anybody else have anything?
Madam Chair, I would, if you don't mind,
Yes, sir.
make a positive thing out of everything we've said here tonight for action. For you commissioners, elected officials, everybody knows we have a system designed to handle what transpired. Even though the steps they took, was great. They've done it hard. But the steps is, one phone call could have got every bit of that transported, even to the point of getting members from the National Guard for that community. If you just made the one phone call as a commissioner to the head of this county to activate it, that's all. Your EMA works under the umbrella of the mayor's office because there's only 2 employees there. 3 or more, you got a supervisor. The EMA has pre-designated areas when called out that they establish such services as what they went through, and they don't have to do anything. That one call has warehouses full of water, readily accessible, no cost. If they have to even bring in kitchens from the National Guard to cook meals for the public, to make it safe, to provide for the public, it's just one call, guys. Remember that. Thank you.
All in, all done? Yes,
If
sir.
committee members who had resolutions come through, I've got them up here. They can sign them before they leave. Committee chairman.
Your committee had a resolution, Attorney Harden needs our signature. Do they want to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Yes,
that's great. That's great.
Also, in
American Communism emergency.
I had to put mine over there. I kept not.
Emergency area. I didn't see it.